One, two, three. Hello. Okay, everything is good. Hello and welcome everybody to another stream. I am Guardian Namek, and as it is Monday, we are going to get our guild event done and taken care of for the week. And I hope everyone who tunes in will enjoy. Did forget about setting up the music. Luckily, I have a fun little stream deck to help with that. Oh. Okay. Let's get this going. And then also put a little sound on the actual game. We're gonna just have some nice cozy fun. And what's blue situation? No bonus turns. Blue it seems. Anything from that? Alright, I need to try and upgrade him. I might as well take this one. And just explode the board. Yeah, that worked out like a charm. Editing. Upgrade. Can I? Yeah, I can't. I'll use some orbs to be able to get that, because that's what I want. I have plenty of those, so I can do that easy enough. Because I want to be able to generate evil gargoyles on 4 and 5s. Otherwise, I should be good. Oh yeah, I did forget to set the class. Construct. Yep, I figured it was somewhere. It just does not like to show properly. Oh, that's very satisfying. Apparently will not have it. Yeah. I might as well do Mage Lord. Okie dokie. Back to devastating enemies. At some point, onto towers. Fortunately, I have to do a good bit of bashing beforehand. As good. Pretty much nowhere, apparently. Oh, of course, it gets cleansed. I was like, it's gonna just bleed out. The door's gonna bleed out. But apparently, nope. It did not. But today has been quite good. My back absolutely hurt high hells today. But I did actually take the time, as I'm supposed to use the heating pad that I have. And it's doing much better now. But I definitely, like, yep, this is why I have it as a weekly task and not and, you know, try and make sure I don't delay it too often. Because otherwise it catches up to me. And if I had to guess, because I probably have terrible posture normally, and so it's just something that creeps in, and then I fix it every so often. And I got a good bit done today. I did do a very quick drawing of a Hydralisk, which I'm using as my PNG tuber for today and for the Zerg StarCraft missions later this week. I'm happy with that. Crap, there's 5 of them. Just obliterated most of the board. I call that an absolute win. But I got a bunch of the stuff that I was needing done, needed to work on, whether that's done or project or whatever. I got all that done. This is pretty much the first I'm playing for today. It's just been nice and busy, and I've held myself to make sure I do my not homework, but you know, projects and stuff. Blue, yes. Okay. I was like, oh, let them bleed out, but I guess I'll just end up punching them. Okay, I got some art done. Trying to think of what else I did. Mostly it was just general cleanup, I want to say. Oh yeah, I got got a new video up earlier today going over the different construct choices. Not too many fancy ones, especially most of them were damage dealing ones, which are nice. It's just the case of, well, when it's tower week, you don't need anything other than a tower killer. Ah yes, there we go. Well, I could have sworn. Oh right, because there just was a lot of blue in the field. Um, Charged. Let's do that. And boom tap. I realized there wasn't any evil, any gargoyles on the field at that point. Oops. Do 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 do. Yeah, trying to think what else I got done. I guess really it was mostly just work, which is fair. Little bit of art, cleaning. Got my poster put up. I got a Fallout 4 perk poster for Christmas. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I got to put that up. And so it's nice. It makes it so that my walls are not completely barren. That is nice. Oh well, that's unfortunate. Okay, blue and purple is so close. Let's see if we can get a better choice. And blue and purple are still no good. Reds, any good red combos? It doesn't look like it. Okay, try it again. Ah, first I get a point. That'll work. Blue and purple. Answer is no. A red? Yes. Actually, I need more red. No guarantees. But let's boom skull it. Huh. Nothing much on the boom skull either. And we have and nothing good. Oh, perfect, actually. There's a little bit more up there. And to finish it. What? Got 2 skulls just from the initial fall. Okay, anything fun? Got 2 skulls. Purple. Really? Yeah, that should be alright. Got very lucky there. Honestly, blowing up board will do more damage. Probably. More skulls. That was very disappointing. Yeah, I'm gonna try and make sure I work more on my little projects and stuff, as I've been playing a bit too many games as of late. Been having fun. Like, that's the key thing. I've been having a lot of fun. It's just, it is the case of, like, I want to try and do more stuff, actual, project-wise, and that requires me to, well, actually do things and not just play games. So I'm trying to make sure I hold myself. Hey, wait. I got a 4. Yeah. Why is there no evil gargoyle? I got a bonus turn, thank you very much. It was just a case. I have no idea. It's just like, nah. Don't need to actually generate one. Okay, got mana. Oh, no. No good comp. Oh, wow. I might get some boom skulls. I got some boom skulls. But I do have the day off, which at least, or for tomorrow I have the day off, so should be able to get some more stuff done. We will have some more fun with StarCraft, which will be nice. Okay. Got some evils on the board. Any combos? The answer no. Blow up the board. There's just continually is like no good combo. Let's get that bleeding going. Then I can just do things like that. Like this, and of course he gets cured right before he's gonna bleed out. Just have to try and do it. Go for a bonus turn. Nope. It was a really like Hail Mary of just like maybe maybe that'll give some scores. That's one way to do it. It should be good. And finish him off. Nice, nice, nice. La, da, 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 da. Gonna be getting some stuff done next few weeks. Or week, really, let's be honest. As in a week, I have classes again, and once classes start up, it's gonna be like, oh no, too many things, I can't get anything done. Which is partly, again, why I'm also trying to make sure I do this. Getting back on the routine of actually being productive and having focus on what I need to do beforehand. Because I'm gonna need to work on homework again. And that will need my utter focus. Because it is difficult. Okay. I think most of the 4 ways we'll get. Let's get a bunch of doom scores. Perfect. That's what we like to see. And I will need plenty of help with my classes this term, I foresee. I will need plenty of time. But I'm determined to pass them. I think I can. Ooh. Doesn't mean I will, but I have at least moderately good hopes that I will. No bonus turns. Still worth stabbing something. Any blues? No, but let's just reset the board. Oh. And I just blow up the board. Very effective strategy. Go, okay, there's no fun bonus turns that I can make. Well, I'll just blow up the board. There might be something new. Oh, look, there's a red extra turn. Hey, look. I could just blow up the board. No, do I need to? No. But I wanted to. Hey, look, I could blow up the board. I think blowing up the board is one of my favorite things to do with Gems of War. Because of the fact that it feels very just like, oh, something's happening? Oh, I just blew up the board, now you can't play. It's just like, good boy. It's like, no, there, look, there's a little something there. Boom, boom. Might as well just grab it normally. Hey, look, there's more there. I might as well do it again. I knew upgrading it would actually end up screwing me over. Yeah. Punch them. It was effective. Nice and cozy. Getting slowly more used to just being able to relax and not have to talk constantly. Though I will say, I definitely have a history of being terrible at actually relaxing. curse of having too many things to do. And I want to do them all. But I cannot, because I only have so much time. Yeah, that should be good. Wow, that did manage not to give me a single skull. Because I just needed one. Managed to give him about 6. Very unfortunate. Reset the board. Yeah, that should be... Well, didn't get a single one again. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, I might end up actually just replacing them and not doing skull busting damage for the sole purpose of that's now 2 times in a row where it's like that should give me plenty of skulls, and someone's like, what if we gave your enemy 3 skulls? I do enjoy the towers. They tend to be my favorite mode just due to the fact that once you get to just full towers, you don't have to worry about annoying enemies that are durable or whatever. It's just like, yep, tower, 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 tower. Act. I didn't. So confused. Why didn't it make a 4 and 5? Is it just for matches and not for creation? But yeah, I think that's just bugged out for some reason. Okay. Blow up the board and do it this way. Everyone will be purple and brown. Okay, well. Prismatic, okay. I would think it was chromatic orb instead of prismatic orb. We're doing the very simple tactic of just like, screw it, we're all the same color, it doesn't matter. Which actually, the other thing it does mean we get, yeah, 4 unique purple troops, and then 4 unique brown troops, which is nice amount of extra health. Apparently fully charged there. Just had a column of purple. Very impractical team, but I'm like, you know what? Screw it. It works. Because the skulls wasn't playing out in my favor, I said, screw it, I'm changing the. I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't bring in anything stronger. I say, with really nothing, anything stronger. Well, potential SAOE heavy. I could just throw. I could throw in the purple and brown book that explodes the board. Perfect. Do that. Nice combos. Yeah, I was like, the jeweled golem's gonna be really insane for mana, isn't it? Yes, yes it is. Okay, no 3-ways. Or 3 explodes. And no fun combos. Unfortunate. Okay, explode the board. Is that? Hey, look, that'll be nice to turn. Hey, you stole the thing. I was gonna. Oh, there's more over there. Oh yeah, there's skulls there. Nice then. We actually are getting close to being able to hit the sub goal. Potentially even just just few few more months and we might end up actually hitting it. Fireball? No. Yep. Anything funny? Nope. Give more armor mana. Switch into attack mode of just like, yep, just do damage as often as possible. Bonus turns does not matter. I gotta be kidding me. You know, the funny thing is, if I plan on being, try and make sure I'm nice and productive this week, definitely would also probably help if I had a plan of what I was going to do. I mean, I have a list of projects to work on, but I'm not sure what I'll actually end up doing. Does not seem like anything that's creating gems is doing anything in my favor tonight. Lead is definitely getting better. That's for sure. I never should fall. This is what I do most of the time when I'm just playing by myself. I'm just very much humming and thinking to myself. Well, granted, usually I'm thinking, but right now I'm not. Partly due to I think I'm a little tired, and also partly due to I haven't really done it. Like, I got a bunch done, but also like a lot of nothing. I really think the only thing I mean, to be fair, I drew, which took some time. You know, not a large amount of time. It took about an hour change, so not too much time. So it took some time, and then I did a video this morning, which pretty much took the morning. About 2 hours, I'd say, because I usually have to clean up something in my calculations. And actually have to make the video. Yeah, whoops. Then mostly was work, so I guess to be fair, all things considered, I really just have been busy this day. Like, I've done as much as I can throughout the day, because I've spent a good amount of time on a nice little video. That looks like it was done with minimal effort. And then worked, drew a little, and then now I'm streaming. So it is kind of that case of like, well, I guess when I think about it, you know, chronologically, I really just haven't had that much time to do anything. Well, I did work a bit on my Warframe damage calculator yesterday. I believe yesterday. Namely, I changed up how condition overload worked. As before, it was very generic and yeah, very generic and wasn't really accurate to like actual status effects. And now I've set it up so that it displays or it calculates based off of actual status effects being applied, like, and when they should be guaranteed to apply instead of just generically of just like, oh yeah, you're getting this many status effects, that's going to be as much as they are, kind of thing, with the hard cap as well, because that is another thing. is I put a hard cap of how many status effects are counted as being applied because of the fact that I had done it in such a simple way that I needed a maximum, which in turn caused it made it so that it wouldn't really consider having different status effects types just for the sake of number of them, because it was like, oh yeah, I'm good already. You know, I'm already hitting the max. I'm hitting the max of 5 of them with just 2 status effects kind of stuff. So I fixed that, and I am quite happy about it. It did seem to actually make it just so that conditional overload actually does more damage, which is fair. It's one of those things I didn't really think about too much um, when crafting melee things. Is that, yeah, it gets most of the different status effects on pretty darn quickly. However, I will say I will probably need to fix up how I calculate and manage weapons, because of the fact that currently I have the combo rate setting how many status effects are also applied, which may be wrong. It's one of those cases where it's like, well, it has an effect on it, but I don't think as big of one as I'm thinking, or it's like doesn't change the proc chance, but just is like, oh, you got this one, well, here's 4 of them kind of thing. And I think if I change my calculations some to acknowledge that it's more like here's 4 of them rather than like, oh, here's 4 chances of them, then it might end up being a bit more accurate. But that is for another time, which will make conditional overload a little less effective, as it shouldn't have as much of just like, oh, we have a high chance to do this low chance thing because combo is giving me a high amount of status effects. Shouldn't be as good as that, but who knows? I also had a fun thing with that where my damage calculations were off, and I was like, why isn't it suggesting attack speed anymore? Because up to that point, it was suggesting attack speed, which made sense, because attack speed is one of those things where you just multiply the increase by everything. So it's just a nice flat, 50% increase to DPS instead of a diminishing return. And so it's just like, oh yeah, that should be, makes sense that it's in everything. And then when it wasn't, it was like, I don't think that's right. Then nice. So I fixed that, but it was a case of I forgot some parentheses, and as such, instead of having the new condition overload stuff be affected by attack speed, it just wasn't. And so within the calculations, and so it was just a case of like, whoops, gotta fix that. So that's kind of a major one. I think I'm going to sleep quite nicely, or at least hopefully will. I do know that I need to refluff my pillow, throw it in the washer and dryer, but that will have to be done tomorrow, since I was a little busy today. Mostly, again, with work. I thoroughly underestimated how busy I'd be with work, though I really wasn't even that busy. Though I also did watch, I watched Goonies and Into the Spider-Verse during work. It was a nice, relaxing thing. Enjoyed it. Both of them nice and simple. Goonies is a classic from back in the day. And then Into the Spider-Verse is pretty good. I think I remember watching it when it came out, but don't know for certain. As yeah, don't know for certain as I think. Yeah, it's just, like I don't remember exactly how it ended up running or going. So it was the case of like, I think it's somewhat like this. I remember the beginning, and it's probably the case of I watched the beginning of it, and then something happened. I had to get up and go and something, and so I didn't watch the end of it. Because I know a lot of the movies I watched when I was younger, or even, well, I guess still younger, but were just like put on, like, oh yeah, you could watch this during this time, and yeah, it was never enough time to finish a movie. And as such, it was always the case of like, oh man, you missed the final like 20 minutes of the movie or something. I never really cared to actually finish the movie. Like, I would. It was always one of those cases like, oh, I'd like to know how it ends, but I wouldn't care to try and watch it. So it'd just be a case of like, well, I never knew how that thing ended. Never really impacted me either. Bum bum beep. I'm apparently very sleepy today. Last like 20 minutes or so, I've been just like my eyelids have been incredibly heavy, like as if they're made of lead or something. So it's like, I have a feeling I'm gonna need to sleep quite nicely. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's my body's way of revenge for staying up a little bit too late. The last few days, nothing too terrible, but definitely the case of like, yeah, I should have went to sleep sooner. An interesting thing, and honestly, a fairly healthy thing. With last week, the guild event, like only half of our usual people ended up doing anything. And I fully want to just believe that it was the case that it was Christmas week, so everyone was out on holiday, interacting with their families, having a good time, and weren't caring about this very pointless mobile game. I'm playing. Technically, it's also just a PC one, but it had a mobile, has still a mobile version, and as such, it's probably a mobile game for most people. Either way, I very much hope that like last week, the reason why we didn't have as much participation was just due to a nice healthy case of people actually interacting with their families and ignoring, their extra, pointless games and enjoyed the company that is actually right there that you don't get to hang out with often. That's my hope, at least. Because as much as I do love, making sure that this guild does well, good stuff, it is very important to have, the people actually, were taking care of their own lives, before any of the stuff they're doing here. Because this will come and pass, but the families and the people in our lives, They too will pass. But it's best to spend the time you can with them before that. And blow up the port. Actually, did that see 3 out of 100, 105? Is there actually like only just 105 times you can do it? Or is it the case of that's as far as it starts, you know, until it just goes like, yeah, we're not gonna try and scale this any further. And blow up the board. Wonderful stuff. Yeah, it does say 105, so I wonder if that is actually the case. Let's see the leaderboard. Yeah, so definitely. Huh? Okay, 2088. Let's run some numbers. 2088 divided by 8 because of the doubling. That's 261. So, okay, 150. So close, close-ish, I should say. But it definitely is the case of it must just stop getting any tougher at that point. Which is fair. If the top people only are at that point, then it's like, yeah, you know, probably don't need anything tougher. They can barely get to that point as it is. Which, honestly, even might not even be a difficulty of enemies and might just solely be due to a time or token charge. Might just be like, well, we have literally no more possible, you know, sigils to do it. Also, I did not do an awake animation for the Hydralisk. I was like, I'm just gonna do a nice little simple thing. I don't need to try and do anything extra complicated. I may try and do a simple thing for the Dark Templar drawing that I plan on doing for the Protoss campaign missions, as that could be pretty cool. Of just like it doing a swipe attack, but I don't know if I can do that. Quality-wise, I mean. Then again, maybe I can. Either way, will not know until I try. But I do want to try and figure out how to do an attack animation for the Goliath drawing that I do plan on doing. Something just like nice and simple, where just like light, pretty much like the gunfire visual effect kind of thing. Like, I think I can probably do that, or I can horribly butcher it. Whew. But it'll be a little while before I do the Terran one again, as I'm pretty sure it goes Terran, Zerg, Protoss, Zerg, Terran. I want to say it's the order ones to from start to Brood War. Do 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 do. Hey, that one got barrier. That's no fun. Yeah, just blow it board. Get that barrier off. La da da dooba dooby dooba doop doop doody doop doo 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 doo. Bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 bum. Baba dee doo 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 doo. Yeah, I might just be tired just due to I actually did do a good amount of stuff. It just felt like not too much because I only did two things. It just happened to be actually fairly, sizable stuff. Definitely need to give myself some more credit. Also, interesting thing, we got a lot of views on the StarCraft stream on Saturday. Quite happy with that. Looking at like the analytics afterwards, it's like, ooh, that went really well. Which I shouldn't be too surprised. It's a lot bigger, target audience than Gems of War. But it still is very satisfying to just like, ooh, yay, I'm getting people watching, and they're watching through ads. So it is kind of that case of like, I need to make sure I kind of try and stream for longer and make sure I'm consistent. And I'm having fun with StarCraft, so I'm looking forward to the days where I'm streaming StarCraft. But I plan on trying to make sure I do the guild events, and as such, I am streaming the guild events. That was effective. The funniest thing is the jeweled golem really doesn't even need to be there. But at the same time, having another purple and brown unit actually is still incredibly effective. Just because that I have 4 of purple, 4 of brown. It's one of those teams that's like, this shouldn't really work that well. But it is. Yeah, invasions are just very satisfying. At some point, I should try and make sure I set up a YouTube bot to basically go like, hey, listen, for the streams. But that will not be for a little while, because I don't know. I just don't feel like trying to set up a new bot while I have this one working. This is more, yeah, it's the more alternate theme. It's a fun little bop. Punching time. I've noticed this event thingy artifact event. They've been leaning heavily into bleed gems, which has been interesting, and I've gotten to see that in quantity they actually are pretty darn good. Go up the board. Hey, you're gonna get barrier. That's no fun. Oh well, do that. Perfect. And I'm back you again. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Look down on that blue. They're soon to be bleeding gems. Balls. Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-da-bum bum bum. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this team to work as efficiently as it has. So I'm quite happy. I was like, okay, could we do this, that thing, this thing? Now it really just comes down to spam tower killer, generate mana for tower killer. Simple as that. And I mean, that really goes for all the tower killing events. But it is just like surprisingly efficient with this one. But it's just like, no worries, just tap, just spam that tower killing free. They just keep coming, and you just keep slaying. Oh, 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 oh. Also does help that he turns blue to purple, so there's some self-mana generation going on. But still, it's like, it's just extra efficient because of that. Just slay, just keep slaying. The enemies will know your name, 'cause you'll be slaying them all day. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's one way to do it. Not really even. Gonna blow up the board. You blow up the board. Vassal's theme is playing, but you probably can't hear it because it's already quiet for me. But otherwise, some of the other soundtracks will be too loud. Dum bum 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 bum. Bum bum ba-dum bum ba-dee bum 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 ba-dum 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 ba-dee ba-doo. I totally didn't notice the score. I noticed these ones up. And began close. Okay, we're slowly going down in tokens. You know, it really doesn't help things out when there's music playing and then I'm humming a completely different tune. Probably doesn't help that the Morrowind theme and also most of the Elder Scrolls. We going on? Most of the Elder Scrolls themes get stuck in my head. Actually, Dick Adam. I was like, which Morrowind theme is actually playing right now? The first battle one. You know, despite how iconic the Oblivion intro is, I cannot for the life of me remember how it goes. Like, I remember the sweeping grandness of it, but I cannot for the life of me remember how it actually sounds. Which is like an unfortunate case for a lot of songs that I like very much enjoy. Songs, music, whatever. Is just the case of like I can remember what it is, but I can't remember the actual music part. And it's like, oh, that's very unfortunate because I like the music. Like, there's one Baldur's Gate 3 track. I think it's Down by the River. So, like, I end up going into that music track, not Down by the River, when I'm trying to think of Down by the River. Or I go into Morrowind. But for some reason, I cannot, like, hum Down by the River unless it just decides to be hummed, basically. And it's like, you know what? Sometimes it's just gonna be like that. Or sometimes the music comes to me, and sometimes it's like, no, you don't get any of it. If I had more time, I really should try and get back into playing saxophone because I really enjoyed it when I was actually playing. But then, you know, my usual stage fright had me quit because I didn't want I didn't want to be the weak link. So I decided not to be a link at all. I've done that many times in my past. I've gotten so good at, you know, avoiding being the weak link, I just don't join anything anymore. Which is terrible for me, by the way. So do not let your fear, you know, guide you. Make sure you go like, I may be terrible, but I will try and do this. Especially if you already are doing it and are having fun. But anxiety is terrible. It's terrible thing, a terrible beast that is difficult to capture, not captured, to conquer. I say as someone who's probably has not conquered it yet at all. But at the very least, I'm doing much better. I'm doing way better than I used to. And that, if that says anything. Mm, But yeah, the funny thing is, like, I was actually really good with playing my saxophone, especially being able to actually tongue the notes, um, and actually play the notes. But like, I was good at actually everything about it. Um, really, the only worry part I'd say that realistically might have existed is just breath control and reading the notes, because I am not great when it comes to actually reading things anymore. And that it may be some form of like ADHD that I haven't got diagnosed yet. I do have autism, but it wouldn't be too surprising if I also had ADHD. But either way, it's the case of sometimes I just lose the place, and then also sometimes have to reread and stuff. Which kind of is a bit annoying when you're trying to play an instrument. But that's also what practice can try and help with. But yeah, I haven't practiced that in ages. So it is just the case of like, yep, it's one of those relics of my past, basically. Where it's like, I used to have fun playing it. I practiced very routinely. I was quite proud of it. I did quite well. But I wasn't confident. And I let my anxiety just go like, nope, you can't do anything. You can't do anything, please retreat. And it was like, okay, time to retreat. And the worst thing about it as well, like, I never told the band director like why I quit. He learned out later down the line because I had talked to other people about it, and kind of the gossip, you know, wagon. Not even like a bad thing. It was just quite literally like, oh yeah, this was why they quit. And it's like, and it was a case of they got to find out that way. It was just like one of those things that like must have been kind of rough for him, where it's just like I was doing great, I was enjoying it, and then I decided nah. From his perspective, it was just the case of like, nah, I'm not playing anymore. Ah, but yeah, anxiety is not a fun thing to deal with, but it is a very common thing to have to try and deal with. But I am slowly getting better on my own stuff, and maybe in the future I will be confident enough to stand on my own and go, I can do this. Not even necessarily stand on my own, but actually probably more accomplishment to stand with a group and go, I can do this actively, and not just like be part of the group that can't do it. Because that's the other thing, is like, I could usually do things in groups because things are easier in groups. However, I also am very bad at actually making any note and existing within groups, other than like, okay, I've done my part. Oh, sweet. For that. And what all did we get? That's some fun stuff. And an orb of chaos. Hey, got one of the orbs of wisdom back. I am up to nice even 400. So I am quite happy with that. And as such, nope. just hit this button instead. We shall wrap up. I do hope everyone enjoyed this very cozy stream of today. I didn't do too much talking until really the end, which, if you're watching the VOD, well, if you're hearing this, you know that. But if you're watching the VOD, you're going to probably go like, oh, this is just really quiet. I don't care to watch. But I hope you all did enjoy. If you did, make sure to follow me on Twitch. I am scholar_Namek. You can follow or subscribe on the YouTube channel at Guardian Namek, and for VODs, where all the streams end up going, you can check out Guardian Namek VODs. And that's really the big things. However, as I did do some art today, I uploaded those to my usual art platforms. You can check out the art channel in my Discord. You can see it there. You can go check out the my Ko-Fi page, which is hopefully linked below. And then if you're feeling generous, you can also donate through there. But even just checking it out is wonderful. I like to see the number go up of views, so it makes me happy. You can also check out the Patreon, which may or may not be linked. I honestly don't know at this point. I need to update links. You can also check the art Instagram at Guardian Namek. Also, I posted it on my socials, like Blue Sky, at Guardian Namek, or at Threads, I believe also Guardian Namek. I think most all of those are Guardian Space Namek. There might be a few differences, but generally that'll be it. I've been enjoying utilizing Blue Sky, largely because there's a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 fans on there, and there's a lot of questions of the days that I love answering, and I love seeing other people answer. So I'm basically in a small, fun community of everyone gushing about, like, I love this thing, or I love that thing, or look at my cool character I made. Here's my answer for the question of the day. This is how this character would be. And I'm like, I love all these stories. It's a wonderful place to be, honestly. Anyways, that will be all for tonight. I believe I will try and wrap up a few other things in my personal life before heading to sleep. But until tomorrow, because I will make sure I stream tomorrow, I hope y'all have a wonderful time. Bye-bye! Buttons activate!